Hello, it's jerrytron. If you were just tuning in, you probably got to experience the fact that my mic wasn't working, so I was talking to no one. But I am back, and I believe the audio is in fact working. I'm looking at the levels right now, so yay. Alright, super quick recap. Yesterday, we tested out getting rabbit ears all finished up back in its enclosure. This is an original set of rabbit ears from 1951. We were working on a project called Please Stand By involving a 1951 Cape Heart television. So I'll probably show that in a little bit. But I had already inserted a couple of potentiometers in here. So when you move these, it turns little knobs. And the challenge was actually just getting the bottom on without breaking it, which I did a little. So I've cracked it a little, going to try and use some Gorilla Glue or something like that in order to fix it, or at least reinforce it. The other thing we did was these vibration sensors. So this is just a simple analog vibration sensor where it's just a pole in the middle, a tiny coil of wire, so like a spring, and then when it senses vibration, well, the way it senses vibration is the spring moves, touches the center pole, completes the circuit, and then it's basically like a mechanical button. The ones I used yesterday were medium sensitivity, and were actually a little less sensitive than I'd like, so I'm going to try and solder up a couple new ones. So I've got some higher sensitivity sensors to work with. We were able to successfully test it. We taped it onto the side of the TV, tried it out, worked great. And today the plan is gonna make these new vibration sensors that I want to look into mounting this 10-step potentiometer. That's kind of the big stuff. I also have this rotary encoder, so it just keeps going all the way around 360 degrees. That I want to see if we can easily mount in there. There's a few questions that still remain on mounting the front panel. So, first, we are going to... This is where I'm actually in the market to find a nice little camera that I can just mount on a tripod mount, because I have a nice little Gorilla Pod, so it'd be really easy to bring around, mount onto whatever. So hey, if anybody knows of a good little web camera that's got a mount like that would work nice, let me know. So, this was the fun part yesterday, is getting these soldered together. One of the wires is extremely thin and fiddly, kind of a pain to work with. So I'm going to be really careful. I'm going to trim them to be the same length, at least at the angle they are, so that I can just kind of move them right up. I wonder if you can even see what I'm doing at all. You can kind of see it. But yeah, so this is kind of annoying, but getting good at this kind of little fiddly work saves a lot of time down the road. I try to make things fairly modular as I build, so that I don't have problems when it turns out I did something stupid and need to take it apart, or if I have to replace a part, or any number of scenarios. I think I know some people, when doing kind of prototype electronics work, when they want things to stay together, they start putting in a lot of hot glue. I try and stay away from that, because it does not work very well in the long run. Alright. That looks pretty close. Okay. So let's get our solder. So, how's the stream working now? Can you hear okay? Does the chat room work? I'll just say something. Hope that's looking good. Alright. Got my soldering iron all ready to go here. This is so little. Awesome, thank you. Gotta be careful with these little guys because they heat up real fast, and I don't want to melt the headers at all because then they won't line up and that doesn't do me as much good. Alright, so yay, we've got one. Time between testing shows up. Yeah. Wow, that is a long time. I thought there's probably ways to improve that. I am very new to OBS, the streaming software, so there are probably a lot of things that I need to configure and fix, but I wanted to start streaming without forcing myself to, you know, come out of the gate as, look at me, I'm a perfect streamer. Which isn't going to happen because I don't have that kind of time. So I'm going to just try and get into the habit of streaming at all, and then kind of learn as I go. It also looks like a lot of the easiest tools to use, or plugins or whatever, are Windows-based, which is not my standard. Although I do have Windows hardware, so if I get enough kind of other hardware to go along with it, like the camera I was talking about and whatever else, then maybe it's worth. Not watching source from Twitch. Okay. So where are you watching from? Oh, that one a lot easier than yesterday. Well, the first one was easy. The second one I screwed up and had to redo. That's excellent. Sweet. That went a little better than I thought. So I'd also yesterday crimped this cable. I just used a stereo cable because it's got two wires together. It's very soft, flexible stuff, so I like that. I put male on one end, female on the other. So the female end, just plug in the little vibration sensor like that, and then the male end will plug into what is currently a little breadboard. Alright, done soldering, turn off the iron, don't start any fires. Okay, so next I'm going to actually unmount the front panel from the TV, and we're going to take a quick look at that. So let's see if I can point you the general direction of the TV. Alright, so, and sorry, I'm wearing pajama pants. It's cold out and I work for myself, so what are you going to do? So here's a little breadboard that everything is currently hooked up to. Here is the back of the television, and maybe I can just quick show you what the front looks like without breaking anything. And that's the front. Nice. Alright. So without breaking something, I am going to remove the mounted panel. So the panel that I'm taking out actually did come with the television. Yeah, why would I know that's you, Victor? What, B30? Your name is in hex. Come on. Come on. Actually... Yeah, I decided streaming might be a good thing to do. One, because, you know, I do, I think very different game development work than I think a lot of people do. It's kind of niche stuff, but I also think it's an area that people are interested in. And it can also be a good way just to stay on task, since, need to explain what's going on and all that stuff. Boy, I really mounted this on quite well. I think... Alright, almost there. Okay. Okay, one thing I need to be careful of is I have these tiny spacers that I'm using I don't want to lose. I'll just actually put those at the front. Alright, let's take a look at what we've got. So, we've got, basically, starting from here, we've got a daisy chain of ground and voltage. So going, from this first pod, second, stops here because I didn't know which pod I was going to be putting here. That's where I'm looking at, something like the rotary encoder perhaps, or putting the rotary in a different spot. So, I needed to just, in order to keep moving forward and making some progress, I decided to just go ahead and solder them all. I can always cut some connections, move things around once I have a better idea. But there'll be one more here, and then the switch potentiometer on the end there, and that's actually the trickiest one. So you see, it's got this very, very big hole, so I couldn't really mount anything I wanted to use. So I cut out this little plank of wood, mounted it over it, so then I can basically cut whatever space I need in this to mount the actual potentiometer. So hopefully we will get to finishing that. Oh, and I have these, I think I only mentioned when the audio wasn't working, but I ordered these 10 millimeter little knobs. I was hoping I could use them for these. These don't actually extend out as far as I thought they would. And they have 15 millimeter ones on Adafruit, so I'm really kicking myself because now I want to just order those. I should probably measure them, make sure that that'll even make a difference. But that's the annoying thing about it not being Amazon Prime, because I would really like to just be like, oh, I needed this too, order, done. But no, it tacks on another however many dollars to ship a new thing. So yeah, I don't have, this last pot isn't wired up, but all these others are, so I was able to test very easily. More than enough for me. The thing I wish I had time for, or more parts for, is having the connections here be completely detachable. And I can still do that. I have some little connector bits, so I could just splice these, trim on both sides, and actually make snappy connectors. But I haven't done that yet. So they have the male connections that just go right into this breadboard. So I can just pull those. I know where to put them. Basically, I've got voltage, ground, and then 4 sets of 2 that are labeled A, B, C, D. So not too tricky. And then this final cable was for testing the vibration. So I'm just going to take all of those out right now, because I don't need them at the moment. And I've got all these vibration sensors. Actually, where did that one go? Oh, yes. All right. Yeah, see, this is one of those moments where there's a couple of different ways it could handle this, and I want to make sure that I know what I want to do. So basically, we're going to want to try and mount this guy right here. We want it on the front side so that it pushes out far enough. Make sure that we can have the knob on and gets through the case. And it does look like it'll fit pretty well. It goes just over the edge. It's not a big deal though. I could actually just trim, if I just trim the very, very corners of them, it should sit right up against the wood really nicely. And actually, at first I was just going to trim these. You can see that pins kind of stick out on the other side. I was going to just trim those off, trim those down. Then I thought maybe it would be actually kind of nice to use some of those just to help it keep it aligned. So just like very thin drill bit just goes zzz, zzz, zzz. So we will see. Then the other big question is how I'm going to actually talk to the potentiometer here. Actually, how centered can I get this? It doesn't need to be perfectly centered, but it would be nice if it was pretty close. So it's got the 3 pins right here. I want to make sure that those go the right direction. I'm probably going to have them just go straight back, actually. Yeah, I'm going to have those go straight back. And then I'm just going to have to drill some space for that. Let's see. Actually, I have my laptop sitting on top of one of my parts catalogs, so I'm going to sneak underneath here. So I know I have a set of 3 headers in here somewhere. They're there. Yeah, what a mess. So first thing we're going to do is just get some data headers on there so that I can take a look at what I'm getting from it. And then we need to figure out how we're going to do the resistors on it in order to get the signal I want. Because I'm not too concerned. I'm not looking for a specific... I got dust all over my hand. Not looking for a specific resistance value for this. That doesn't really matter in this case, because all it's for is for a data reference point. I'm not actually using the resistance for anything. So, get the soldering iron up again. I do love the soldering iron. It's a Hakko, H-A-K-K-O, digital. I think the analog's just fine too, but I got the digital. But it heats up really fast, and I think maybe the advantage over the analog is it actually tells you what temperature it is as it's heating up to, so you know when it's all ready. In either case, it's a good brand, so I'd recommend it. If you're going to do soldering, get a real soldering iron, not a Radio Shack plug-in-the-wall kind, because those are awful and, I would argue at least slightly dangerous. So, there. Alright. See if I can just get this clipped nice. Yeah, it actually looks really good. All right, solder point 1, go. Solder point 2, go. And I'll move my little clip here. Solder point 3, go. Perfect. See, look at that. Also, when you have the right tools and you actually learn how to solder and like how to properly tin your soldering iron and I don't know, watch some YouTube videos, but soldering is really easy and a lot of fun when you know how. Unless you have to solder a million things. Every once in a while, when it's a project that I'm taking somewhere or traveling with, and all I have it on is a proto board, or a little breadboard, I decide to solder it onto a proto board so it's actually like solid, which then means you're wiring it yourself because obviously it's not a custom PCB. And that actually can kind of suck because it gets complicated. But when it's a one-off and you just need it to survive travel and all that kind of stuff, it's not that bad. All right, so actually, what do I want to do here? I'm going to grab a couple of wires. In fact, here's a nice set of 3. So I'm just going to plug this guy. So actually, I haven't worked with a pot quite like this before. Get in there. And there's kind of a number of different ways you can work with it. Traditionally, I would just plug one end into voltage, the other into ground, and then the middle into our analog read. So what's happening is you've got 0 voltage, 5 voltage, or 3.3 voltage. Those are your reference points, the upper and lower bounds. And then as you're changing the pot, it's giving you different resistance values as you go in relation to it. So when it's halfway through, the resistance will be half of the voltage, or it'll read half the voltage. So that's more or less how it works. But yellow one, can do green voltage, orange ground. So all we're going to do here is, just out of curiosity, we're going to just see what it looks like when we read the different steps of this switching potentiometer. Because I'm not sure if it has any, my understanding, since it gives you positions for your own resistors, my understanding is it doesn't actually have any built-in resistance. So, I guess let's find out. So I need to open up just a test thing here. I'll switch my screen over in a hot second after I get this figured out. Alright, so we're going to be reading in one joystick here. Here, I'll switch over the view so you can actually see it. Boing! Alright. So I think you can see this. Yeah. Alright. Let's see. Actually, we don't even. Oh, someone is texting. I don't need to do that right now. Don't need any of this actually. All I want is to see. Oops, yep, can't save it because that's an example and whatever. I'll let it set it. Alright, so we're just gonna do a super simple example and see. Let's go. Oh, bummer. Wah, wah. Okay, so let's push over firmware. Let's just see what we get. Alright. Let's grab a knob. Let's just grab this one. Okay. Ha, okay. So when it's all the way over, okay, well that's not surprising, right? So it's either at 1, so the lowest value. It's somewhere in the middle, so it's just jumping all over the place. And then it's at 1023, the highest value. So there's 1024. The resolution is basically 1024 values, potential values for it. Okay, so we need to add resistors. Yeah. But that answers that question. It's basically noise. So not super surprising. Alright, so we're going to unplug that. Unplug that, take off the knob. So this is actually a good question because I'm not sure actually what exactly we want to do there. I did have. Oh. Just looking for something quick here. Here we go. I have something that separates all of my web pages full of tabs into all sorts of different projects, so I can keep track of things, which is really nice. So let's take a look at this website. Switch over. Ooh. All right. So this is the potentiometer that I ordered from SparkFun. Oh, Google is running hot. Maybe it's because I have the Twitch thing open. I don't know. I need to figure out something for chat because I don't want to have this open if it's causing all sorts of issues. Alright, we'll close that for now, see if that helps at all. Alright, so we're a 10 position switch. Yippee. And the reason I want to use this, I have a different shield for it that just acts like just like 10 buttons essentially, where it's just one signal going on and off. I didn't want to have 10 data lines coming in, because that's kind of a waste of pins and just a lot of wiring needlessly. Ooh, I do have a few of these slide pots that I want to get in there. So the question I have is, since I don't really care about the overall resistance, what should I do? So here, normally in a pot, it's like, depending on the end that I want to be the higher resistance or lower resistance. So I think right now I'm treating that as ground, and then the clockwise end as the voltage, I think. Is that what I want? I want that to be low. Yeah, okay, that's what I want. And then the white bit where we're reading the current resistance. Okay, so we get a knob on there. Let's see. Use resistors that fit your needs. So maybe I just... Okay, so it's really not a whole lot of mystery here. It's pretty straightforward. Just put in the ones that I want and kind of add up. So yeah, I could use 10K, something close to that. That's fine. I don't think it really, doesn't seem like it really matters. Alright, let's look at what I have got. Got a few sets of resistors here. Let's get in the right range. I don't want to do too high. 100K resistor. 100K pot. It's a little overkill here. 18K. I have a newer box of resistors that's less annoying to go through. So I could do 1Ks, and then, oh shoot, do I have enough? Oh, this is going to be the thing, since you get samplings of everything. Oh, you know what? I've got a whole pile of 10Ks, so maybe I should just go with that. Whatever. That actually makes things a little easier. All right, I'm gonna move this. Actually, I'm just realizing I wanted to try and keep track of comments or anything. I could go to my Switch on my phone. Yeah, maybe that'll work. No idea. Alright. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, no, I mean 9. So. So this actually shouldn't be too difficult. Just going to put in 10 of them, just like that. Solder them in, and clip. And it doesn't matter what direction they go, there's no polarity with resistors. So it's just gonna look a little bit like a rat's nest of wire. But my fan is really spinning because of something Chrome related it doesn't like. That's the weird thing, it's not even the streaming stuff, it's Chrome. Alright, what can I close? What can I close? Close that. Well, I'll just close Chrome entirely. Okay, now OBS can use all of my resources. Sorry, I'm not playing any music. I'm not really sure how the music thing works nowadays on Twitch. Because from what I heard, if it hears copyrighted music, then it just mutes you or something. Seems like a heavy-handed solution to the problem of the fact that people like playing music. It's like soon when our houses are connected, we'll, if it detects more than one person in any given space, we'll just mute the music until they pay a royalty. That's ridiculous, I know, but I think also it is ridiculous what Twitch is doing. And YouTube, and all of those things. But what are you gonna do? Ah, look at that. Isn't that nice? It's a nice little row of things. So I'll get it clipped up here. So it's just easier to solder. I don't know who that text was for. I don't think it was for me. That seems weird. Anyway, back to soldering. Then, as soon as I've soldered these little guys on, we can take a look once again at the values that we get. This is kind of annoying because of all the wires. I'm actually going to turn on a little bit of a fan. So sorry for the extra noise. I don't want to breathe in all the fumes. So almost there. Hopefully I didn't do something silly here, because I would hate desoldering these. Alright, let's take a look at our connections. It's a little hot. Make sure they all look solid. Not too shabby. See, isn't that nice? Yeah. And now, snip, snip, snip. Oh, actually, this may seem ridiculous, but when you're snipping small pieces of metal, put on glasses, because I've had some very near misses when it comes to clipping metal. And I've known somebody that did get it in the eye once. Not so good. See? They bounce around. I like to try and keep my thumb over it so it, especially for ones, basically the more force it's taking you to clip it, the more likely it is it's going to bounce all over the place. Alright. Looks good, see? Not too bad. And then I'm going to have a little sweepy thing, but these are all pretty big pieces. And into the trash. Okay. Turn off the iron. Can put away these extra 10Ks. Where? About there. Now, let's see what we get when we plug this puppy in. So I believe we want counterclockwise as ground. Yes. That. So orange is ground, that is voltage, that is data. Good. Right. Alright. So we've got it plugged in. Let's switch back on Arduino. And let's see how I did. Let's get a knob back on. Still looks a little noisy. I hope I did this right. I wonder if there's anything else I need to... Okay. Alright. Aha. Okay. So we've got... Let's see, can you see that okay? Actually, no, you can't. Right. So you can see those values. Alright, so you can see here, got the knob, it's all the way counterclockwise. One step takes us to about 300. 2 steps, 470. 3 steps, 630. 7. Between those 2 steps, not much. 820, 870, 920, 1023. Intriguing. Suppose I should have verified these results. They're all the same. Well, I'm sure there's a very good reason for that. If I was thinking a little harder. But we got what we wanted, which is a variable set of values based off of the position of the knob. Sorry, I'm opening the website again. I'll be honest, I didn't read it very hard when we looked at it last time because I found the 10Ks and it happened to be, I think, exactly what they did. I think they just shoved a bunch of 10Ks on it. Pretty sure that's what they did. Let's see. You notice we haven't explained what resistors. What resistors are for the arm cell? Yeah, okay, I got it. It's gonna vary a bit. Yeah, okay. So the coefficient is changing as we go up. The arithmetic gain. Cool. No, this is interesting, actually. Yeah, there's a spreadsheet that SparkFun has that shows you the change in the gain coefficient as the resistance values go up. But again, for our purposes, I think we are set, because I don't mind that there's a bigger jump up front, because there's always enough. Like the first one's, probably always within 15 of 300, and that's worst case. It's probably more like 10. And we've got around 470, 630, just over 7, 770, 820, 870, 930, and then end of the line. So more than enough. There isn't enough slop to make me worry. Yeah, we're good. Cool. All right. So we have our switch potentiometer all ready to go. We've been able to test it and see that we can read the values that we need, which is very exciting. And now, kind of the scary part is the actual mounting. See, this is always the tricky bit because, well, it's very possible to screw it up. And I don't want to screw it up, because that means I'd have to do it again. One question is, do I mount it where it's overlapping the lip of the metal plane? So if I put this on, I mean, if you can imagine, basically the front, it's, well, you know, actually that'll be fine because that's going to be behind the wood either way. So it's going to be kind of set in there. So I will probably just go centered, and then maybe can put a nut or a little spacer in there just to make it really nice. Okay, so first make sure that I know what position I want to mount it in, and that it is in fact what I want to use, but I think it is. So that was actually the wrong knob. Here's the channel changing one. Now we don't have as many channels as the original TV did. I believe the original had 12, I want to say. So if we have it horizontal like this, there's actually an indicator on the TV. There's like a little bolt on this side of it. So let's see, what do we got? Can the camera even pick up the lettering? You can kind of see it there. 2 is more or less selected there. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so honestly what I'll probably do is just scratch out the paint for 12 and 13 and have it be 2 through 11. I think that seems pretty reasonable. And then we can put on a new indicator if we need. Actually, while I'm at it, how's this hole looking for the rotary encoder? Yeah, so this hole's a little bigger than I would like, but at least it mounts there, so maybe not my favorite thing, but I could potentially glue it, or I might end up replacing one of these with this. We'll see. See once we start like actually playing with the effects, see what Victor thinks. Alright, I need a pen. I've already got my drill down here, so I can... Actually, I'm going to... I'm going to text my wife real quick. Alright, so... You know, it really irritates me that on your phone on Twitch, it doesn't show the backlog of chat at all. And as soon as your phone goes to sleep, it just stops accepting it, so that's really helpful. So this is about centered. Oh. It is making me really want to try and have the whole board set inside the circle. It just seems cleaner. Question is if anyone would notice. Probably not. What an annoying choice to make. So I don't want to clip too close to some of those components. No, I'm just going to go with centered. I'm going to go with centered. Actually, I need a... Sorry, I'm getting weird questions right now. Distracting. I need a tool to poke into the wood. Here we go. So at a thrift store once, I found a whole set of dental tools. And they're actually really useful for working with electronics. And so I do. Use them, that is. Also, I like to eyeball. In this case, it doesn't really matter that much. I just want to make sure I'm not too far off the path. So it's got 4 mounting holes. Just kind of trying to mark where those are going to be so I have an idea. And then it's got the pins. Alright. Color those in a little. So I'm wondering if I can just drill a few times there. So yeah, maybe this won't be that complicated. So just mark the mounting holes and where the pins are going to go through, and that's about it. All right. So I had some wood down here before. That would make drilling a little safer. Not sure what I did with it, but let's figure out what our drill bit's going to be in either case. So I don't need that. Just how small. Some of the screws aren't going to be terribly small, but I want it to be smaller than the screws themselves. Actually, the pins are what I'm most concerned about. I think I'm going to drill those first, because then I'll be able to set it down and make sure that the mounting holes are all lined up. Oh, I can turn off this fan, sorry. Oh, so much quieter now. Yeah. And that's okay if that's a little bigger. Maybe I'll use a bigger bit for that. Yeah, let's try this one. Which is a... I don't know, what bit size is that? 7/64. Oh, that's an interesting number. Alright, what should I drill on that doesn't hurt anything? Drill on the stands, actually, that I built. No, that's attached to stuff. Oh, whatever. I'll just drill on a box, because it'll be really obvious if I go through. Safety first. Dun dun dun, dun dun dun. This is not thick wood, so. Okay. See, this is going to be the hard part, actually. It's drilling in the middle. Ah. It's probably not the best way to do this. And the batteries feels a little low. I've almost got it though. Almost got it. I'm gonna swap the batteries, see if that gives me a little extra oomph. Oh yeah, that feels stronger. Oh, close. I can probably just clip the rest of that, actually. All right. Make sure I get the sawdust and the garbage. Obviously, I picked a cardboard box I do not care about. Just clean it a little from the other side. There we go. Oh yeah, that's good. I have forced it to work. That's always what you want to do. Power tools. Wah, wah. Oh yeah, that's good. That's real good. All right. All right. So now it's its longer pin that's holding it back from laying a little flatter. And oh, I think my wife is home. Hello, darling. I'm streaming for a little bit, but I'm almost done. Okay. But I can come over there if you want. I can come over there.
Come over here.
That might be on camera. Okay. So we're going to switch to smaller drill bit here. In fact, the smallest one I have, if I can get it out. And here. See? I barely nicked it, but that's why I was doing it on the box before. So, let's see if we're getting there. Ah, see? Now it actually sits pretty flat. And the nice thing is, since I've got it over the metal lip, I'll just leave all the other legs because they're actually just helping prop it up at the level that I want. So, yay! Now, I'll do the mounting holes, and hopefully I have hardware. Got some nuts and stuff to use for that. I'm actually clipping the back of the resistors off a little bit since it's over the metal lip. Try and have that lie up flatter. I'm gonna be careful. I don't want to mess up the connections. That's a little better, I think. All right. So do I want to go with this drill bit? Sometimes it's nice going with a smaller one so that when you screw in it really catches. Yeah. Hold this down. Not too bad. So now it's lying pretty flush against it. We've got the holes on the other side. And I'm going to try and find some screws and nuts that fit. Because it would be annoying to have to go to Home Depot just for this. Okay. One sec. Okay. So I found 4 nuts and bolts. Real question is if they're going to be long enough, which I'm worried they are not. Well, there's another option. In fact, I think these are the same ones I used on the other side. And you see what I did was I drilled insets so that I could get them all the way through so that I could bolt them on this side. So let's give that a try. Let's see how far the screw will go. And then maybe just drill in some insets. Sometimes you gotta work with what you got. Actually, I'm not catching the edge of that screw. This screw. I think that's a little better. Maybe. Yeah, it's just getting to the edge of it. So, well, one option is maybe I don't need the bolts at all, since I think I did a reasonable job on fit in. I feel like I'm stripping the screws here. Oh, why don't I just try screwing them in? Here's what we'll do. Since I kind of wanted the spacer anyway, I will put the nuts on the back of these, which keeps all the mounting together. Let's see if I can just screw it in and then we'll be done. Well, actually, what I should be doing is just getting them barely inside the nut. now it's really stable. If I can get it to find its hole. That one found it okay. Just might have to loosen it a little. That one's good. I think I got that one. Look at that. Alright, so we've got this mounted on. It's got the nuts, which space really nicely and help secure it. It's got the pins exposed in the back. Should actually test to see if I can actually get to the pins. Ooh. It's just the one on the end, I'm not sure if I can get to it. Oh, broke off part of the casing. Whoops. Yeah, so ideally I would open up the pinhole just slightly. I can almost plug them in completely. There's something in the way. Which is kind of annoying because that means I have to take it off. Yeah, it's super close, but not quite. So I need to pull this off and widen the data pin hole. Wah wah. Whoops. All right. This will be it. And then we will have succeeded in mounting our channel changer. I'm just going to pick a bigger bit. No harm in just giving it some extra space. I think that's good. Actually, I'm going to try just a tiny bit more. Alright, if that doesn't work, I'm just going to have to get more aggressive with it. We'll go even bigger, but I think that's fine. Alright. Let's get this back together. Not on the hole. Something's a little screwed up here. Uh-oh. There we go. I don't think we were going in straight. All right. There we go. Excellent. We now have our channel changer. Make sure these are all tight. Cool. Alright folks, well, we got some stuff done today. We soldered some new vibration sensors, and we've successfully mounted our channel changing switch for the TV using this nice little plank that went over the hole. I reused some old mounting holes, and yeah, we just kind of drilled holes in everything until we could put it where we wanted. Sweet. I think I'm going to call it there, since we've been at it for a little while now. And yeah, I won't be able to do any streaming tomorrow, but like I said, Thursday, maybe we can do some streaming since Victor will be working with me, see how he feels about that. But in either case, we'll be back soon, and you'll get to start seeing some actual kind of visual components. Although we're going to probably be careful about what we show because we don't want to ruin the surprise of the game itself. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in. I'm Jerrytron, and yeah, feel free to get in touch, ask questions, tweet at me, whatever. Still figuring out the streaming software, so I got to figure out something so I can see chat stuff. That seems to be a huge pain. And have a good evening, everyone. Bye-bye.